You are 58. On a break at work, you open your super on your phone. The number staring back is around $200,000, and your stomach quietly drops. For years, that sounded like a fortune. But retirement is close now, and suddenly it does not feel like nearly enough. If that feeling is yours, you are far from alone. According to the Australian Taxation Office, the typical Australian aged 55 to 64 holds around $200,000 in super. That is the median. Half of people have less. Now compare that to the figure everyone quotes. The Association of Superannuation Funds of Australia says a single needs $630,000 for a comfortable retirement. $630,000 against a typical $200,000. That gap is exactly why so many Australians lie awake, convinced they have left it far too late. In Australia, retirement really comes in 3 flavours. Call them tight, modest, and comfortable. Each is a completely different life. And the distance between them is smaller than you would think. A tight retirement leans almost entirely on the age pension. Right now, Services Australia pays a single about $31,000 a year. A couple gets around $47,000 combined. That covers the basics if your home is paid off. Groceries at Woolies, the power bill, keeping an older car on the road. But there is little room for anything going wrong. A modest retirement is a step up. The super fund's body says a single needs about $110,000 for that. A couple, around $120,000. Modest means essentials plus a little breathing room. Basic health cover, the odd meal out, a short trip somewhere local. Careful with money still, but not counting every single dollar. Then there is comfortable. $630,000 for a single. $730,000 for a couple. This is the tier absolutely everyone chases. Comfortable buys private health, a decent car, home repairs without the panic, and a trip overseas every few years. In income, that is about $51,000 a year for a single. Now here is where most people get it badly wrong. This is the single biggest misunderstanding about retirement in this country, and it changes everything. When you draw an income from your super after age 60, that money is generally completely tax-free. It does not count as taxable income at all, not a cent. Let that land. A retirement income of $50,000 from super is nothing like earning $50,000 in a job. There is no tax taken out. You keep the lot. When you were working, a $50,000 salary lost a chunk to the ATO before it ever hit your account. In retirement, that same $50,000 arrives in full. So the income you need in retirement is often lower than the wage you earn today. The tax has already been handled. This one fact quietly rewrites the entire calculation. Here is the second trap. Most people assume you park your super and live off the interest forever. For almost everyone, that is simply not how it works. Living purely off the income your money throws off only works with a very large balance, or a swag of rental properties, or serious investments sitting outside super. For the typical Australian, retirement means slowly spending the balance itself down. You eat into the capital. That is not failure. That is exactly what the system was built to do. The comfortable figures assume you draw your super down to almost nothing by around age 92. The money is meant to be used, not admired on a statement forever. Let us run rough numbers. Say you retire with $400,000. You draw 5% a year. That is $20,000 sitting on top of your pension. If your investments grow at, say, 6 or 7% over the long run, that balance holds up well. But markets are never guaranteed. Some years are genuinely ugly. That is sequence risk. If shares fall hard just as you start drawing money out, your balance cops a double hit. Which is why many retirees keep a cash buffer aside. This brings us to the third leg of the whole thing, the age pension. In this country, retirement is rarely funded by super alone. Most people lean on a blend. You can reach your super from age 60 once you have retired. But the age pension will not start until 67. That gap matters if you stop work early. The pension is means tested 2 ways. Centrelink weighs up your assets and it weighs up your income. Whichever test pays you less is the one that ends up applying. Here is the big one people miss. Your family home does not count in the assets test. A paid-off house sits outside it entirely, which is why owning changes everything. As a rough guide, a single homeowner can hold around $330,000 in assets and still draw the full pension. A part pension reaches well past $700,000. Now, most people get their spending wrong too. They assume it stays flat right through. It does not. Retirement spending moves around far more than you would ever expect. When you stop working, some costs simply vanish. No fuel for the commute. No lunch is bought in the city. No work wardrobe. That side is often cheaper than people fear. But time is the catch. Suddenly you have all of it. And time costs money. Hobbies, the caravan, the golf, the trips you kept putting off. More free time, more spending. Think of a school teacher. They often spend more over the holidays, not less. Free time gets filled with activity, and activity costs money. Retirement is one long stretch of holidays. There is also this: Australians are living longer than ever, so your money has to last longer too. Planning to 90 and beyond is now just sensible, not overly cautious. And retirement is not one steady phase. Early on, you are fit and active, so you spend big. Then it slows. You are home more, closer to family, and spending quietly drops. Later, it shifts again toward health and help around the house. Because around age 80, many Australians move into supported care. That stage carries real and often forgotten cost. Here is something no spreadsheet will ever tell you. Your personality shapes your retirement as much as your balance does. And it catches people out on both sides. Some want to travel and spend while they are still fit enough to enjoy it. Fair enough. You cannot take it with you, as they say. But others cannot switch it off. They save their whole lives, then sit on a healthy balance, too anxious to touch a dollar of it. Never spending what you worked for is its own quiet kind of trap. So what is your actual number? It is not the scary headline. It is built from your real spending, your housing, and the life you genuinely want. Never track what you earn or spend, and retirement will blindside you. So back to you. 58. Staring at $200,000, feeling behind. Here is the truth. That number, on its own, tells you almost nothing at all. Because it was never meant to work alone. It works alongside the pension, alongside a paid-off home. It works tax-free, and it is meant to be spent, not hoarded. The real question was never, how much super do I need? It was, how much does the life I want actually cost? Answer that, and the super figure finally makes sense. Most Australians are closer than the panic suggests. Not everyone, but more than you would think. And knowing your real number is how you finally stop lying awake at night. If this made even one number click into place, do me a favor and tap that like. It genuinely helps this kind of content reach more Aussies who need it. Subscribe and switch on notifications so the next one finds you. Then go have a proper think about the life you want. That is where your real number truly begins. See you soon.